If you meet a respected scholar or teacher of Islam and they start talking, we tend to listen to them very attentively. We try our best to observe etiquette and the best manners. So if we talk, we lower our voices, we don't interrupt, and we try to absorb every word they share with us to get the maximum benefit. Now, if this is how we behave with a human who teaches Allah's words, how should we behave with Allah's words themselves? There is certainly an even greater reason to observe proper etiquette when dealing with the Qur'an. But what is the Qur'an etiquette? Well, Qur'an etiquette is a set of recommended manners that every Muslim is encouraged to observe when interacting with the Qur'an. Ignoring them is not sinful, but following them reflects our respect and honor for Allah's words. Let's start by listing them one by one. Number 1. Yawning. If you're reciting the Qur'an and you started yawning, especially if you're used to reciting early in the morning or during Fajr, you should pause your recitation. It is recommended to suppress yawning in any case, and you can easily do that by quickly breathing through your nose or just sealing your lips together. If it is unavoidable, cover your mouth and resume recitation after yawning, but do not recite while yawning. Number 2. Flatulence. If it happens that you needed to pass gas while reciting the Qur'an, you should also pause your recitation, so that these two actions should not be happening simultaneously. That is, of course, if you're reciting from memory or using a mobile phone. If you're holding the mushaf, you'll naturally need to redo your wudu. Number 3. The Qibla. If you are in a situation when it is possible to recite in the direction of the Qibla, then this would definitely be better. And just like the other points, it is not mandatory to do so, but sitting in the direction of the Qibla will always be better than not to. Number 4. Lowering your voice when reciting certain ayat. There is a number of ayat in the Qur'an where Allah tells us about the bad and false claims which the people of the book said about Him. Now, if you were reciting out loud, it is better to recite these ayat with a lower voice and then raise it back again when reciting Allah's response to them. Like in this ayah. This would then be what the people of the book say about Allah, where we lower our voices, and the response is directly afterward, where we raise it back again. Here is a practical example from a professional qari and how it should be done.
وقالت اليهود يد الله مغلولة.
Notice how he recited this part at a lower tone than what he usually does. And then when he continues,
غلت أيديهم ولعنوا بما قالوا بل يداه.
Again, if you can't understand Arabic yet and you don't know when to do this, then that's fine. These are recommendations, not obligations. Number 5. Interacting with the meaning of certain ayat. This is actually a confirmed sunnah of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. When he would recite, for example, سَبِّحِ اسْمَ رَبِّكَ الْأَعْلَى, which is an imperative sentence, the Prophet, peace be upon him, would react and say in a low voice, سُبْحَانَ رَبِّيَ الْأَعْلَى, in obedience to Allah's command. Or when reciting, أَلَيْسَ ذَلِكَ بِقَادِرٍ عَلَىٰ أَن يُحْيِيَ الْمَوْتَى, which is a question, the Prophet would then answer by saying, سُبْحَانَكَ فَبَلَى, in a low voice, which means, yes, indeed. Number 6. Laughing. If you heard something which you thought to be funny while reciting, if it is just a smile, then that's fine, you can just keep going. But if it felt like you needed to laugh, it would then be more appropriate and more polite to pause your recitation and not recite while laughing. Number 7. Mouth hygiene. Every Muslim should observe good mouth hygiene before reciting the Qur'an. This is done by applying the sunnah of al-miswak before starting to recite. It is also very recommended to have the intention of following the sunnah to have an additional reward, inshaAllah. Number 8. Starting to recite in the middle of a sequence. The Qur'an contains many stories and sequences of related ayat. It is better to always start at the beginning of a story or a sequence rather than just in the middle. Like starting at فِيهَا كُتُبٌ قَيِّمَةٌ. It is a beginning of an ayah, but starting here isn't the best choice because it continues from the previous context. So, on its own, it doesn't really give the full meaning. Another example is وَأَمْطَرْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ مَطَرًا فَسَاءَ مَطَرُ الْمُنذَرِينَ. Here it is also a beginning of an ayah, but it is in the middle of a story. Again, not the best place to start. Mind you, it is not haram to start here, but it is not recommended. If you don't know the Arabic meaning of the ayat yet, or you're not sure, then it is always better to start at the beginning of a surah. Or you could just observe the symbol of ayn, which is found in many mushafs. This symbol indicates the end of a segment that is related in meaning, and then a start of a new segment or story. Here is a practical example. This is the ending of the story of Nuh in Surah Hud, and here is where the story of Hud begins. So this would be a good place to start if you want to. Now, finally, there are two situations which people may think that they could be disrespecting the Qur'an while it isn't. The first one is scrolling away a recitation of the Qur'an. If you're browsing a website, watching shorts, listening to the radio, or something similar, and you've come across a recitation of the Qur'an, is it a sin or disrespecting the Qur'an if you scroll down or click it away before completely listening to it? And the short answer is no, it is not a sin. You do not have to listen to it if you did not come looking for it. It is not considered disrespect or anything of the sort. You would certainly be rewarded, insha'Allah, if you waited and listened, but it is not bad if you did. The second misconception is, if you are reciting the Qur'an and someone greeted you with Assalamu alaikum, it is not a disrespect if you cut your recitation and answered the salam back, then continued. In fact, you must stop reciting and answer the salam if you're the only one there to answer, since replying the salam is mandatory and reciting is not. The same can be said when hearing someone sneezing. You should also pause your recitation and say, Yarhamukumullah. So neither of them is disrespecting the Qur'an, but pausing and following the command of Allah is better in this situation. Finally, remember, these etiquettes remind us that the Qur'an is not just a book we recite. It is the speech of Allah revealed for our guidance. May Allah allow us to honor His book the way it deserves. And before you go, don't forget to check out the sources used in preparing this lesson if you want to learn more about these points. I left the links in the description. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my latest books with their video courses if you want to learn the Qur'an in Arabic or properly learn its Tajweed. Check out the links in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, insha'Allah.